This is the Moving Indiana Real Estate Show on News Talk 1190 WOWO and now 92.3 FM. Visit them online at movingindiana.com. This hour will bring you the latest news and home trends in Fort Wayne and all of Indiana. Now, here's Tony and Sam.
Good morning, Indiana, and welcome to the Moving Indiana Real Estate Show. I'm Tony Didier, here with Sam Hartman, and we're from Coldwell Banker, Roth, Wehrly, the #1 real estate company in northern Indiana, serving the Fort Wayne area, South Bend area, even southern Michigan. If you're listening and you have a house to sell or are looking to buy, we can help you out. You can find us at movingindiana.com. You can give us ideas for future shows with real estate tips and information by following us on Twitter at Moving Indiana or Facebook/Moving Indiana. I'm Tony Didier. I'm the Vice President of Marketing for Coldwell Banker, Roth, Wehrly. I look for new and innovative ways to market your home and find buyers for you. I also work on movingindiana.com, our website, new tips and information and design elements there.
I am Sam Hartman.
Tell the people about yourself.
Yeah. Well, I am Sam Hartman, Director of Career Development with Coldwell Banker, Roth, Wehrly. I work with all of our newer agents to the company, work on associating them to the industry and the company, making sure they have the tools and the coaching they need to create a successful clientele for all of you out there as well.
So if you're looking for a real estate expert, look no further than Coldwell Banker, Roth, Wehrly. With all the support our agents have with their marketing and the development of their career, you definitely want an agent with some support and a strong company backing them. We've been in northern Indiana for over 40 years now, tons of experience, family owned and operated. So that's us at Coldwell Banker, Roth, Wehrly. But let's get to the show where we want to give you guys information about real estate. Today we have a great show. We had some rain recently. We got Dan Leffers here from Paul Davis Restoration later that we're going to talk to about issues you may have seen with water in your home and how to get it out, and he's going to answer many questions that you may have. We also have Kevin Hunter from Windows, Doors, and More joining us at the end of this segment, and Tina Bennett from Hallmark Home Mortgage is going to answer some financing questions for us. So we got a lot of local professionals who can give us some great information about real estate. We're also going to highlight at the end of the show some open houses you can check out today with no appointment necessary. Just drive around and check out some homes for sale.
It's always a beautiful day to buy or sell homes, so definitely get out and check out those homes that we cover today.
So true. You don't even need to be in the market. Just go check out an open house. It's always fun. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about why you should use a realtor when you sell your home. A lot of people try to go for sale by owner, think they can sell it themselves, but there are some drawbacks to going for sale by owner. It's always good to hire somebody who's an expert in the field. You may buy or sell a home on average every 7 years or so. Realtors have probably sold 3 homes this month. They know the process. They can streamline it for you. So it's always good to hire a professional, but here are some specific reasons. First of all, marketing tools. For sale by owners, they may not have the skills or connections to properly advertise their home. Most are just trying to email family and friends or, see who's in the market for a home. But a realtor can get you in front of tens of thousands of people with no problem at all that first day you're on the market. They list it in the multiple listing service, which every realtor in town has access to, and a lot of them have buyers who are currently looking for homes and just haven't found that right one and will be automatically notified when a home and their buyer's criteria hits the market. So if you're trying to go for sale by owner, odds are realtors aren't even really seeing your home online for their buyers. But as soon as you list it with a realtor, literally hundreds of realtors see that home and want to take their buyers to that home so they can get that deal done for their client.
That's exactly right, Tony. Realtors all over Fort Wayne are trying to find the perfect home for their clients. And if your home is for sale by owner, those realtors aren't having access to that information and that property to really know if that's something that's going to fit in for their client and their client's needs. So it's really, you're in your best interest when you're selling your home to get that out to those hundreds of realtors across Fort Wayne that are, helping thousands of Fort Wayne residents buy that next home, get them in access to that, get them connected to that market as well.
Exactly. Realtors with access to the multiple listing service also have access to stats and information that are critical for pricing your home correctly, and pricing your home correctly is the most important thing to get your home sold quickly. A for sale by owner might be taking some stabs in the dark, maybe can find some current homes for sale in their neighborhood online, but since those homes are for sale still, they may not be accurately priced priced. They may be overpriced. But if you have a realtor, they can access sold homes in your neighborhood, and sold dictates the market value of homes, not what people are trying to get for it. So a realtor can look up all the homes in your neighborhood that have sold in the last 6 months, see how they compare to your home, and get your home priced exactly right. So it is a quick transaction with a good negotiating process. They're also experts on negotiation. Paperwork and the legality of selling your home, like I said, if you do it every 7 years or so, you really are confused as to the legal steps you have to take. Whereas a realtor, they have state-mandated contracts. You have the peace of mind of knowing that it's done right. Also, security. You want to talk a little bit about strangers coming into your home, Sam?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you're, we're talking about, later in the show, open houses and everything. Those open houses are going to be directed and run by a realtor that's going to be available for that service. If you're a for sale by owner, you're basically opening your home for the showing services that you are going to be required to execute. By using a realtor to list your house and advertise your home, they're going to be available to show that home to residents. They're going to be available to show that home to potential buyers. You won't have the risk of bringing a stranger into your home, putting yourself and your family and your belongings at risk, for those types of things. So it's a small price for a peace of mind as well.
And most agents also have an electronic lockbox that tells you exactly what realtors entered and left your home and at what time. So security is a great reason, but also, connections to professionals in the industry as well. If you need help preparing your home for sale or help with title work for closing, a closing specialist, most realtors have people they can refer you that they're trusted, they've worked with many times. So you also have those references. And Sam has referenced some statistics.
Got some stats here from the National Association of Realtors that are kind of interesting for that for sale by owner, person out there. Only 28% of for sale by owners actually take steps to market their property. And I will guarantee that 100% of those making that marketing effort aren't making the same effort that a realtor could make for them. So some are making the effort, but it's just not going to be to the extent that they could. And then half of for sale by owners already knew the person that purchased that home from them. So it was probably a family deal, a really easy transaction for them to make. The other half of those deals are, maybe getting lucky if someone driving by your home and just seeing it, because there's just not much marketing done on your home.
That's right, Sam. And also, a realtor is going to be able to market your home on dozens of real estate websites out there, all the major ones that people are searching for online, and with high-quality photos. And if you hire Coldwell Banker Roth Wehrly Graber, it'll also have a virtual tour on your home, which gives you higher search results on those websites. Those are some things you want to look for, why to hire a realtor. Experience and expertise, marketing tools, access to stats and information. I mean, your home's going to be seen by so many more people, and the realtor is going to know the right price. You actually can probably get more for the home because you're going to have a much bigger audience. So you'll get a better price. They can take care of the paperwork, and you'll have the safety and security of knowing that professionals in the industry are going to be showing your home, not just random people driving by.
And if you're looking for some of the best realtors in northern Indiana, you can find them at movingindiana.com.
And we have some great real estate information for you for the rest of the show. We're going to have Dan Leffers from Paul Davis Restoration talking about all the water damage we've seen lately and what to do when that happens. We're going to have Tina Bennett from Hallmark Home Mortgage joining us on the phone coming up to talk about some tips with lending and some changes to the mortgage industry lately. But right now we have Kevin Hunter, president of Windows, Doors, and More, joining us.
Kevin, thanks for joining us today. What are some projects that homeowners can do to their home that are going to make their home more attractive to buyers?
One of the first things you can certainly do is look at your front entryway. That's the first thing that a would-be buyer is going to see when they come and look at a potential home to purchase, is look at the entryway and look at the front door particularly and see if it's up to date. Is it something that would be appealing for somebody else coming in? Now, sometimes we can't see the forest through the trees because we're too close to it, but we have to look at that and say, is this appealing or not? Would a new fresh coat of paint on the front door or a different choice of decorative glass be in order? Changing the hardware and getting the old hardware off of the doorway and freshening it up is a really key component to making a home ready for sale.
What about some of those projects on the inside of the house?
the first thing that, again, you're walking into that foyer and making sure that the woodwork and the baseboards and so forth are up to date, that they're not beat up, that they have a fresh coat of paint if it's painted interior trim, or if it's stained interior trim, that the stain has been touched up. And again, it's just those first impressions when you walk into the front of a home that's going to give a would-be buyer that warm and fuzzy feeling of what they're getting ready to purchase is something that they're going to be proud of, or if they're going to pass and go to another home that's had those type of things updated. And new flooring is another thing in a foyer. Ceramic tile or a new wood floor, floating floor, can be a really effective tool in making a would-be buyer comfortable and confident in the purchase they're getting ready to make.
If someone's got a project on their mind, what's the process they need to go through with windows, doors, and more?
Initially, a stop into our store on West Washington Center Road is a great place to start. Coming in with pictures of their home and asking what areas could we be part of in helping them in the process is a great way to start. I think of an entry door, again, something that we could replace glass only in versus replacing the entire door would be a very big financial win for a seller. And again, the buyer's wanting an up-to-date look, period. And if the door could easily just need a little refreshing, then that could work for both parties. And again, that's one way, stopping in the store with photographs. The other way is just having one of our representatives out to the home and to look over the home and get ideas that way. And we certainly are full of those and willing and able to give those by appointment.
We've seen it where certain upgrades increase the value of a home more than the cost of the upgrade. Does this happen a lot?
I certainly believe that certain improvements are worth their while, that they will be paid back 100% and more. And that is simply the updating of a door unit, putting new glass in, or an updating of maybe a ceramic tile backsplash in the kitchen could be another area of payback that will really freshen up a home and just give, again, confidence to a new buyer that they are indeed choosing a home that's going to be not just beautiful today, but in the future as well. And we do see that paying back, yes. And even some replacement windows can also pay back in full, given the right circumstances.
Kevin, what's the best way someone can reach out and get their home improvement questions answered?
The very best way to reach Windows, Doors, and More is Monday through Saturday. We have showroom hours that run between 9 and 7 o'clock during the week, 9 to 6 on Friday, and 9 to 5 on Saturday. Our website is a wonderful resource. I would welcome those to go to WDM Factory Store and check out our website. Do our virtual tour of our facility. I think you could get a whole lot of good ideas right away from just doing that. An initial phone call or visiting the store is a great way to start.
All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us, Kevin. That was Kevin Hunter, president of Windows, Doors, and More. Thank you for joining us today, Kevin. This is Tony Didier and Sam Hartman here from Coldwell Banker Roth Wehrly Graber, and we are hosting the Moving Indiana Real Estate Show, where later we're going to have, actually coming up next, we're going to have Dan Leffers from Paul Davis Restoration joining us to talk about the water damage to your home and how to prevent that in the future. And then we're going to highlight some of the open houses today that you can go check out. So you definitely want to stick around for that on News Talk 1190 WOWO and now 92.3 FM.
You're listening to the Moving Indiana Real Estate Show with Tony and Sam. Visit them online at movingindiana.com. You're listening to the Moving Indiana Real Estate Show with Tony and Sam on News Talk 1190 WOWO and now 92.3 FM.
You are listening to the Moving Indiana Real Estate Show with Tony Didier and Sam Hartman here from Coldwell Banker Roth Wehrly Graber. You can visit our website, movingindiana.com, to see any home for sale in northern Indiana and also get more information on buying and selling homes. And speaking of information on buying homes, the first step a lot of times in buying a home is getting pre-approved for a mortgage. So right now we're going to talk a little bit about mortgages, what those are, how they work. And joining us, we have an expert, Tina Bennett, Vice President and Branch Manager for Hallmark Home Mortgage. Hello, Tina.
Thank you for having me.
Tina, what are some of those current loan trends we're seeing in the Fort Wayne market today?
Well, right now we're seeing that interest rates are increasing, and over the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've seen rates increase by almost a full %. And we haven't seen that, at least not that kind of drastic change, really for the last 12 months. So we're starting to see that this may be a time to really, if you're thinking about being in the market to buy a house or refinance a home and you haven't made that decision yet 100%, this would really be the time to jump into it before, the rates kind of get away from us and we miss out on an opportunity.
What are some of the options that home buyers have right now when looking at loans, and are any looking better than others?
There are a lot of options for financing, but the main ones are really a conventional loan or an FHA loan. And in the past, FHA has really been popular, especially among those buying their first home, because it allows for a lower down payment and maybe not absolutely, that's perfect of credit. It allows for some blemishes there, and it also allows you to have gift funds. So if your parents or another family member want to help you out with your down payment, that's allowable. And so that's always been a nice choice in the past. Although recently there have been some changes with FHA financing over the last couple of years, and again significantly here in the last couple of months, that have really made us stop and look and kind of help borrowers look at the differences and see if conventional financing is going to be a better choice for them.
Just this week, we've seen some changes to the FHA financing situation. So if anyone's been looking at that as an option, what do they need to know?
Well, mainly it's been in the mortgage insurance premium portion. And what that means is anytime you don't have 20% down to make your purchase, you're going to be required to carry mortgage insurance. And that's the same for FHA or conventional. However, because of kind of the mortgage meltdown that we've had over the last several years, FHA has really struggled with their defaults, and they just don't have the reserves that they're required to have. And so in order to try to recoup some of those losses, they've had to make changes about twice a year over the last couple of years to increase the mortgage insurance premiums and to increase not only the upfront mortgage insurance premium, but also the annual premiums. So it's becoming, and that affects the monthly payment because it's becoming more expensive for those monthly premiums. And then now, as recently as just June the 3rd, they made another change where now those mortgage insurance premiums are going to be required for the life of the loan. So it used to be that once you got to 20% equity, you could request to have that mortgage insurance removed. But now they're going to be required to maintain that mortgage insurance for the life of the loan. So that really kind of puts a negative comparison, and so if someone has the ability to go with a conventional loan, it's going to probably be a better option for them now.
When were those changes again?
Well, the changes to the upfront premium and the annual premiums has kind of been happening about twice a year over the last 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm. But the change to the making the mortgage insurance premiums remain on for the life of the loan, that just changed on June the 3rd, just a couple of days ago.
Tina, if anyone had a question or wanted more information, how can they reach you at Hallmark Home Mortgage?
They can reach me at 260-469-0900 or on our website at www.hallmarkhomemortgage.com.
All right. Thank you so much, Tina. That's Tina Bennett, Vice President and Branch Manager of Hallmark Home Mortgage. We really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us, Tina.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
Coming up, we have Dan Leffers from Paul Davis Restoration. We've had a lot of heavy rain lately, a lot of water damage to basements, and Dan's going to answer some questions that I'm sure we've all been asking lately.
Yeah, like questions like what to look for on the outside of your home to see if you're at risk for flood damage, insurance questions, all those important things that you may not already know about. So stay tuned for us for that.
You're definitely going to want to stick around and listen to Dan. This is News Talk 1190 WOWO and now 92.3 FM, and this is the Moving Indiana Real Estate Show.
You're listening to the Moving Indiana Real Estate Show on News Talk 1190 WOWO and now 92.3 FM. This is the Moving Indiana Real Estate Show on News Talk 1190 WOWO and now 92.3 FM.
Welcome back to the Moving Indiana Real Estate Show on 1190 WOWO and now 92.3 FM. I'm Tony Didier here with Sam Hartman from Coldwell Banker, Roth, Wehrly, Graber Real Estate, the #1 real estate company in northern Indiana. And we have this real estate show to educate our listeners and the people in northeast Indiana about their homes and about home transactions. But also we like to give tips that may be relevant right now. And we all know we had a lot of rain here in the last week. And a lot of you may have questions. Some of you need answers, I'm sure, too, after some wetness in your home. And because of this, we brought in a specialist this week to interview, Dan Leffers from Paul Davis Restoration. Thanks for joining us, Dan.
Thank you, Tony.
I'm sure you're a busy man. If you want to talk a little bit about what you saw when all that rain came, how rain was getting in and how many homes you guys actually helped out.
Well, we're still in the process of helping people out, so the count isn't finished yet. Unfortunately, these things go on for a long time in most cases. What happened when the rain hit Fort Wayne caught everybody by surprise, and this was a particularly unusual circumstance because normally we see the rivers go up slowly and flooding starts, power goes out, people use their sump pumps. That isn't what happened this time. In this case, the rain was so overwhelming that the sump pumps just couldn't keep up. So it was unique.
You said it was a surprise. If people have some warning and they can see it coming, can they prevent the water from entering their home? And if they notice that it's starting to happen, is it already too late, or is there some steps they can take on their own to keep that from happening?
Yeah, there are lots of things people can do to try to minimize the effects of these circumstances. First of all, check your sump pump regularly. Most people now have battery backup systems, but those batteries die over time, and they get weak, and they need to be tested periodically. Often, people fail to look at the outside of their home. So one of the most common problems we see is just poor drainage. And that drainage, even newer homes have great drain tile systems, but the problem is they can become overwhelmed. And if they start putting too much water into the sump pit, then the sump pump can't keep up. And that happened a lot this time just because of the volume, but it can also happen just because people may not keep their gutters clean and the water doesn't run away from the house, or they don't have the proper landscaping to get as much water away from the home as possible.
Now, when you say proper landscaping, what exactly do you mean, and what kind of red flags can people find in their landscaping, when it's not even raining or maybe even when it is?
Well, it's a good idea to walk around your house and look at all the downspouts. That's a great place to start. Do the downspouts, are they designed and constructed in a way that moves the water as far from the house as possible, and also puts it into an area where it's going to continue to drain away from the home and not come back. Any water that's dumped on the perimeter of the house eventually finds its way to the drain tile, and any home with a basement will have a sump pump, at least a newer home will. And those sump pumps are designed to collect that perimeter water and move it away from the house. So the less water that the sump has to move, the more efficiently it can do its job.
Now, with signs like that, to the average homeowner, they might not be able to recognize to the naked eye. Someone looking at buying a home, would that be something that they should call before purchasing a home? Call a company like you guys to come out and check out their surroundings and see if that home is going to be up to par to handle a rain like we had recently?
Sam, most people hire a home inspector. That's always recommended, I know, by you guys. Those inspectors are pretty well qualified to identify problems like this. So it's not necessary to get, quote, an expert. Essentially, the home inspection process is adequate.
Can any home get improved water drainage, or if you buy a home with like a sloping backyard towards the house, is it too late, or do you need to have it regraded or tiled?
Almost any drainage problem can be solved, not 100%, but most drainage problems there are solutions for. It's just a matter of the expense of fixing the problem. That's why the flood insurance program was actually created, because in some cases there's just nothing you can do. If you're in a floodplain, you will flood and eventually, and that's the dike system that has been improved here in Fort Wayne has done a lot to reduce the effects of river flooding at any rate. But still, there are a lot of properties that are in those flood zones, and the only alternative for them is the National Flood Insurance Program.
Now, you brought up the flood insurance in the floodplains. Obviously, not every home in Fort Wayne, even with the Three Rivers, is in a floodplain, and not every home is going to have flood insurance. So how does insurance play a role in a situation like we had recently with all this kind of flash flooding and all this quick rain that we got? Have you seen a lot of homes that are going to be taken care of by their insurance companies, or how is that going to play a role for those homes?
That's a great question, because a lot of people don't have a clear understanding of how their insurance works. And the first recommendation I would make is that look at your insurance policy. Read the language that covers water damage and make sure you understand what's covered and what isn't. It's not unusual for people to overlook necessary coverage in some cases. So once you understand what's covered, then you can make sure that if you have sump pit coverage, how much coverage do you have? Nowadays, insurance companies set limits. It can be as low as $5,000. They can have varying deductibles. Many insurance companies now have higher deductibles for certain kinds of damage. Water, mold, even wind damage can have a different deductible than your normal policy. So it's a good idea to understand what's in your insurance policy.
So just on a standard homeowner's policy, if you have a basement, should you ask your insurance agent if you should get some flood insurance?
Absolutely, Tony. If you have a basement and you don't have water backup coverage, you're kind of playing with fire. And it's important to make sure that even an unfinished basement has some level of protection.
Okay. That's Dan Leffers here with Paul Davis Restoration. And we talked a lot about basements. With the rains that we had, was it mostly all people with basements, or are people without basements at risk as well?
Yeah, that was unusual. That's kind of what made this unusual. It was both. Obviously, it was primarily basements. They're low spots. And in this case, sump pumps, even though they worked, and we were fielding phone calls from literally hundreds of people with working sump pumps that still flooded. And simply the volume of water just couldn't be ejected fast enough. We also had a lot of calls from people on slabs, and those were in some of the lower areas. You heard about the Bear Creek Apartments, 60 units flooded. Those were all slabs. But it wasn't the rivers, it was the creeks and ditches that overflowed. So the slabs, those people with slabs normally would never see water, and we had a lot of folks in this case who have never had water either in their basement or in their house, and they got water.
Are walkout basements at risk as well?
Yes, walkout basements are at risk, and especially in a circumstance like this where the creeks were rising, because water can come in those doors, come in around the foundation, and a number of those circumstances happened.
Yeah, this is obviously a situation that's affected a lot of people around Fort Wayne. You know, for someone in the future that maybe didn't have a problem with this circumstance, but may, have a problem in the future, what do you recommend the steps that they take? Who to contact, or the steps that they need to take in an emergency situation like that? Because obviously timeliness and quick response is going to be very important for them.
There's a lot of things you can do to minimize the damage. Once it happens, nowadays there are alarm systems that can warn you if your sump pit is starting to overflow. That early warning can be critical in minimizing the damage. Get downstairs, move valuable items to a safe place. Obviously, if you have a basement, it's not a good idea to store anything that can be damaged by water, like boxes and papers, on the floor. They should be elevated if you're going to use the basement for storage. If you find your basement flooded or you're experiencing water damage, the best place to start is at the Better Business Bureau. Start looking for a restoration company through the Better Business Bureau. There are lots of qualified firms in town who can help you, but there are also, in circumstances like this, you have to take the best alternative. We tell our customers, we may not be able to get to you. Call as many companies as you can. You can even go to even a regular carpet cleaning company can extract water and minimize the after effects of a situation.
Talk a little bit about how you get the water out of there and the process that takes place and why you need a professional to get that water out.
That's something that a lot of people don't understand. The technology has changed greatly in the last 10 years especially. Nowadays, it's important to have technicians working on a water damage who are trained and certified to deal with water. Typically, if water isn't dealt with effectively, you can start to develop mold in about 3 days. So even when a water damage occurs and somebody can't get to you immediately, it doesn't. Don't give up hope. You've got a fair amount of time before you're going to start experiencing significant bacterial growth or microbial growth. Once you can get the proper drying equipment in place, that really starts to act as a deterrent. Even if it's several days, it will minimize the growth of mold in your home. And so having equipment in the basement as quickly as possible is important. And if you can't get a professional there, it's not a bad idea to get a dehumidifier on your own. Get some fans going. And it just starts the process of drying a little and gives you a head start.
Okay, thanks, Dan. Without getting too specific here, what is the damage? How much does it cost to get water out of your home?
Well, in a normal situation, when a basement floods for some reason, if we come in and extract, and nowadays the equipment that we use to extract water is much better than it used to be, so most of the water is being removed by the extraction device. Average time to dry a basement, if it's a situation where maybe the walls are slightly wet and the floor, carpet, that sort of thing is saturated, it'll take 3 days or less to dry that home. It's not unusual for, in those circumstances, for there to be absolutely no damage. And in fact, the carpet's fine, the drywall's fine. We once extracted a medical facility that had 6 inches of water in it, and at the end of that drying process, there was literally 1 2-foot piece of baseboard that had to be replaced. So,
wow.
The drying equipment that we use, the extraction equipment we use nowadays is significantly better than it used to be, and the training for the technicians working with that equipment is significantly better.
Do you think it's more worth it to add the flood insurance policy, or do you think people, may be able to handle the cost of, one-time damage?
Well, flood insurance, obviously people who were flooded last weekend would have loved to have had it. However, it really is designed primarily for people who are in flood zones where insurance companies won't write coverage. Mm-hmm. Insurance companies sell flood insurance, but it's a national program. That's the only place you can get it. is from the federal government.
Okay, great. Again, we have Dan Leffers from Paul Davis Restoration. Real quick before you go, what other services do you guys provide besides water?
Well, we're a full-service restoration company, so we deal with all aspects of damage from water, fire, mold, wind, that sort of thing.
Okay, great. Well, that's Dan Leffers from Paul Davis Restoration. And this is the Moving Indiana Real Estate Show with Tony Didier and Sam Hartman here from Coldwell Banker Roth Wehrly Graber. Coming up, we're going to talk about today's open houses and some that you might be able to check out. This is News Talk 1190 WOWO and now 92.3 FM.
This is the Moving Indiana Real Estate Show on News Talk 1190 WOWO and now 92.3 FM. Visit them online at movingindiana.com. You're listening to the Moving Indiana Real Estate Show with Tony and Sam on News Talk 1190 WOWO and now 92.3 FM.
Welcome back to the Moving Indiana Real Estate Show. I'm Tony Didier here with Sam Hartman from Coldwell Banker Roth Wehrly Graber, Northern Indiana's #1 real estate company. We've had some great guests today. Kevin Hunter from Windows, Doors & More, Tina Bennett from Hallmark Home Mortgage, and Dan Leffers from Paul Davis Restoration with some great advice for homeowners out there. If you've had some water in your basement and you're just joining us, Dan's segment was great. You can catch our podcast on YouTube by searching the Moving Indiana Real Estate Show, or it'll be posted on Facebook at facebook.com/Moving Indiana, or just go to movingindiana.com. There'll be a link at the bottom of the page for the real estate show. So listen to us anytime, get some tips about homes. But right now, we're going to do a fun segment where we talk about the open houses today. It's Sunday. If you got nothing to do this afternoon, maybe you're in the market for a home, no appointment necessary. Just go check out some of the fine homes we have for sale in the area and meet some of our very professional, experienced realtors. The first home I'd like to talk to you about today is if you're near Scott and Illinois Road, looking in Chestnut Hills area, you want to be in a golf community. 10418 Indian Ridge Drive is being hosted from 2 to 4 by Charla Charay, and just the curb appeal of this home is spectacular. It's got a side-load garage. It's all brick front. Just beautiful home. 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, over 3,500 square feet. Actually, almost 3,600. It's got a walkout lower level and just beautiful wooded lot with an awesome deck if you like to enjoy the outdoors and you want to be in an awesome golf community. So go check out Charla Charay from 2 to 4 at 10418 Indian Ridge in Chestnut Hills.
Yeah, we've got Dave Gall hosting an open house from 1 to 4 in the Huntington area. This Huntington property, located at 700 East, 600 North, Huntington, Indiana, has got plenty of land. It's on 8 acres with 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, and 1 half bath with 2,100 square feet. So definitely if you're looking something with some good space on the inside, plenty of open spaces on the outside, and you're in the Huntington area today, go check out Dave, talk with him. Great agent, great friend of ours. So go check out Dave today, 1 to 4.
And if anyone's listening in the Elkhart area and wants to drop by 29776 Woodstone Court, you can see Don Bullock and this awesome 5-bedroom home built in 2008 with Pella windows, stainless steel appliances, just tons of upgrades in this split-bedroom floor plan. And it's newly reduced price listed at $299,900. So that's if you're in the Elkhart area.
Yeah, and coming up at 12120 Sunningdale Court in Fort Wayne, Alan McMahon is hosting an open house from 1 to 3. This is a beautiful curb appeal, 4-bedroom, 3 full bathroom home, just shy of 3,000 square feet. It's got a main master bedroom on that main level there, which is always a nice feature to have. Definitely check out Alan and the open house that he's hosting 1 to 3.
If you're looking for a lake home, we got one listed in Warsaw by Deb Peyton Sholey that's right on Chapman Lake. It's got wonderful lake views from the main living area, 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bath, and a great family room with patio doors. So from 1 to 3, if you're looking for a lake home, there's still time to go up there and see Deb Peyton Sholey. It's listed for $289,900, and that's on Chapman Lake at 47 EMS C28C Lane.
All right, we also got Gary and Pat Leidy hosting an open house at 7720 Graymore Drive, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Beautiful Cape Cod style home, ready to move in for you. It's a 4-bedroom, 2 full bath home, just over 2,000 square feet. That open house goes from 1 to 4 today, so go say hi to Gary and Pat Leidy for me and check out their open house from 1 to 4.
If you're looking for Northwest Fort Wayne, Northwest Allen Schools, we got a great value in the rapids of Kiefer Creek today. That's off of Lima and DuPont. 2308 Broken Oak Road. For $144.9, you can get in Northwest Allen Schools and 4 bedrooms in a great neighborhood, rapids of Kiefer Creek. So definitely check out that home listed by Angela Ballard today from 1 to 3.
Yeah, and at 223 Riley Drive in Fort Wayne, we've got Ben Craver hosting an open house from 1 to 4 as well today. It's got 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, 1 half baths, and has 1,700 square feet. Tell you what, Ben's got a great golf game. He's got even better homes to show you.
If you are in the Coldwater and Cook Road area, that neighborhood is right behind that Dairy Queen. A lot of newer homes. So go see Ben Craver today. Also, on Lima Valley Drive, 2206 Lima Valley, if you're near the Lima and Wallen area, from 1 to 3, you can see Colleen Cole and take a look at a great 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, 1,300 square foot ranch for only $110. It's got a fenced-in yard, great for cookouts. If you got some pets, go see Colleen Cole at 2206 Lima Valley Drive in Fort Wayne.
Next, we got 6118 Catbird Avenue in Fort Wayne being shown by Deb Ramsey today. This is a popular Northbrook neighborhood, split ranch home, vaulted ceilings, large great room, great space with 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, and 1,200 square feet. So go check that out, that property out from 1 to 3 today with Deb.
And finally, listed by Martin Brandenberger at 9411 Ballymore Drive in Fort Wayne. This house was newly reduced in price. Looks like a brand new ranch for $105. You're definitely going to want to check that out. It's in Waterford. That's off of Wheelock Road near Cherry Hill. And it actually has 4 bedrooms and 2 full baths. So it's a great home. You can go see Scott Jester hosting that open house. And it's got new carpeting throughout the entire home, and all the kitchen appliances stay. So if you're looking to be northeast, move-in ready, no worries. Go to 9411 Ballymore Drive. That's in Waterford. And I think that is all we have time for on today's Moving Indiana Real Estate Show. You can find any home available, as well as these open houses listed. If you couldn't take down an address in time, just go to movingindiana.com. You can do that on your smartphone while you're on the road. You can do it on your iPad or on your computer. Movingindiana.com has all the homes for sale and all the great agents at Coldwell Banker, Roth, Wehrly, Graber. And for those agents at Coldwell Banker, I'm Tony Didier with Sam Hartman.
I'm Sam Hartman. Can't get enough of living in homes. Can't get enough of talking about them. Thanks for joining us today, everybody.
That's right. 1190 WOWO and 92.3 FM.